All right, now we're going to share my screen. All right, perfect. Well, thank you for joining us. This is just a quick walk through the preliminary itinerary for the AFA Leaders Conference. So excited to have you all engaged in Kansas City in November, which is right around the corner, which does not seem real, but we're so excited. So the first portion of this, we're just going to walk through the calendar of important dates, the cancellation policy, travel information, and then the agenda, which is the ways we want your team engaged. And then we'll have time for any questions. And then we are recording, so this will be sent out to anyone that wasn't able to join us. So beginning, here is the calendar of important dates. If you don't have it already in your calendar, we highly recommend it. But we'll definitely keep you in the loop as these dates come closer and closer. September 1st is when you'll receive the registration links, and that'll come from us. And that way you can register your team. You'll also that same day receive a link from Fern regarding the opportunity fair. And if there's any questions about the opportunity fair, you can definitely ask us, or we'll get you in contact with G Bates here at fernexpo.com. October 1st, this is when registration closes. Of note, there's only one registration that's needed for your organization. So in the original email that I sent within the last couple of weeks, there's our main contact. So our main contact for each of your organizations does a registration for your whole team. And we'll talk a little bit about this in the next couple pages, but all changes to the registration must be made by October 7th, and that'll be done through just emailing me. Also on October 1st, the hotel rooming block closes, and those hotel links for the rooming block can be found on page 5 of this itinerary, which I'll get to here shortly. October 10th is when we will send you a partner assessment to fill out. This is just gathering information, the type of student that we want to put there during your partner breakfast. And it takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's due October 13th down here. That's where that assessment is due. We'll also send you a list of the students attending conference that have interned with your organizations. That's all October 10th and the 13th.
Yep.
October 20th. Yes.
Hey, Mercedes, just going to add something really quickly about the partner assessment. So Victoria, this is something to just collect more information on the type of student you want to be paired with at Leaders Conference. So think of university, major, class status. So whether it's a freshman or a senior, and then we take that information and match you with students that are also interested in connecting with your company. It's not a perfect process. We try to do our best in making sure we get those students to your partner breakfast, but that helps guide those decisions with making sure that we put you in front of students who want to have a conversation with you. We know your time is, precious, and want to make sure that hour is used wisely.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Cool, thank you.
October 27th, you'll receive the final communication from AFA, as well as the order form for the opportunity fair is due. From AFA, we'll send you a final schedule for your team, as well as a partner playbook, which is just high-level tips and tricks of how to make the Leaders Conference a successful event for both your team and for the delegates that are present. And then also information on how to access the resume directory, which is going to be your friend with making those connections before, during, and after Leaders Conference. October 31st, this is also for the Opportunity Fair. Any shipments that you want to send for your materials for Opportunity Fair must be delivered to the Fern warehouse by October 31st. And the information about this will also be sent out in that September 1st email from the Fern Expo. November 10th is when we kick off, which we're really excited here in Kansas. Not here, I'm not in Kansas City, but it'll kick off in Kansas City. And the November 11th is the day, or November 11th is when we'll send out a survey, just gathering feedback, and that's how we can make the experience even better for both our industry partners and for our delegates. So keep this in mind as you continue to plan for Leaders Conference. On the left-hand side, this is our cancellation policy. This is new this year. And just with the rise of costs associated within the hospitality industry, we're putting this in place to help mitigate the financial risks regarding cancellations that fall outside our calendar perimeters. So anything that happens before October 7th, just make your adjustment and cancellations with me. My email is right here. And then following, so October 1st is a deadline to register and confirm participation at Leaders Conference, including the speaker roles. October 7th is the last day to cancel or make changes. And for meals, that's the last day to receive reimbursement, because following that, then we'll have already purchased the meals. So if you have any questions or any concerns around the cancellation policy, just let us know. On the right-hand side, this is the hotel rooming block. So you can just, these are clickable. So you can just follow these links to make a reservation. And those also close October 1st or when the room block fills.
Yep, just one more thing I wanted to add, Mercedes, in regards to the cancellation policy. So after October 7th, she mentioned the meals. That also, want to have a conversation around what speakers look like too. We know, plans change. After this date, if you have a speaker that we'll talk about a little bit later, if you have a speaker that is unable to come after October 7th, your first step is to reach out to us and just, start the conversation of who could potentially be a replacement. Because it's getting closer to Leaders Conference, we can't guarantee that we'll be able to replace it with somebody else from the UPL team, for example. But we're going to have some dialogue with you to see who makes the most sense in that best fit scenario. So just want to be really clear on that. After October 7th, your first step, reach out to Mercedes and we'll have a conversation.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Sounds good.
All right, now this is the agenda. So this is how we would love to engage your team. And we kick it off on Thursday, November 10th. We have a conference check-in from 4 to 9 in the Sheraton Hotel lobby. Anyone who is at your organization that's an AFA alumni, or really anyone you know, is welcome to join us during the AFA Alumni Social, which is from 6 to 8 p.m. We have 2 opportunity fair setup times. So the first one is from 7 to 8 p.m. on Thursday night. The second one is from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. Friday morning. So just calling those if there's one that works better for your team. One of the programmatic opportunities we'd like to engage your team in is the mocktails reception from 8:30 to 9:30. And this is just for an informal networking opportunity for juniors. They're at Leaders Conference and you can register up to 5 team members. And we're excited. This is just, as we all probably know, as we get into the industry, being able to network with a drink in your hand and a snack maybe in your other hand and being able to still hold a conversation, it's a mastered skill. And so this just offers a space so that the students can get to feel a little more comfortable and network and make those connections and swap business cards and so on and so forth. Anything you'd add, Chelsea, for the mocktails? Nice. It was one of my favorite, as an alumni, it was one of my favorite events when I was in college. Love the mocktails. We'd also like to invite your team to the Ice Cream Connect, about 3 team members. So you might have to divide and conquer between the mocktails and the Ice Cream Connect. This is between freshmen and sophomores. They may be a little more nervous, so definitely feel free to go and break up a social circle. Because they're so young in their collegiate careers, they may not have had any opportunities or any experiences with informal networking. But this is a great opportunity to start a relationship with a student and then help build and foster and steward that relationship as they grow in their AFA career as well as in their college career. So Thursday is a pretty big day, but not as big as Friday. Friday, we start off with the opportunity fair setup, but also the solutions you care about roundtable from 9:15 to 10:30. And I'm going to throw it over to Chelsea to talk a little bit more about that.
Yep. So Victoria, as you think about this roundtable discussion, essentially who we're looking for to fit this role is a day-to-day operational employee who has a passion for one of those solutions listed in the session description. And I believe we're actually sending out more information ahead of time in regards to like an article for them to review to help facilitate that discussion. But it's just a great way for you all to get out there and talk about a topic that's a hot topic, if you will, that the students are passionate about, that you all can bring your lens to the discussion, your lens, but then also the team members' lens as well, if they have a passion outside of UPL. So.
Okay, sounds good.
You're muted, Mercedes.
Thank you. How long have we been doing this virtual space? I work remotely all the time. All right, from 9:30 to 3 p.m. we have the opportunity fair. So we'll transition to that. So you might have to divide, or well, I guess you're one team member for the solutions you care about. During that time of the opportunity fair, we have the AFA Board of Directors luncheon. And specifically, we'd like to invite your team member who's participating in the executive forum to this luncheon. And the executive forum, stay with me here, is later that day from 2:30 to 5:15, and that is just on stewarding change. So would love to engage one of your executives there for that forum. I guess, do you have any other color to add, Chelsea, on that one?
Yeah, the only thing I would add is when we think of executive, that name could change based on the company who we're talking with. Think decision makers within your organization. Anyone from, we've engaged CEOs, those with a director title, just those who are leading your team internally in big decisions, because that's essentially the premise of this conversation. Is we want these track 3 students, which is our seniors and our juniors, to connect with these leaders of how they're instilling change within their companies.
Thank you, Chelsea. Backing up, so 12 to 1, we have the opportunity for lunch, and then skipping forward after the executive forum, well, I guess kind of during, we have 3 to 4:15 is a transition to work roundtable, which is another speaking opportunity. And we invite one team member to participate, and that the session descriptions that were on these opportunities were sent in that original email, but if we need to resend them, just let us know.
The only thing I would add about the transition to work roundtable is that would be perfect for somebody in HR. Whether it's ideally probably one of your leaders within HR, Victoria, you'd be perfect for this. But it's just a roundtable discussion with students transitioning from being a college student to a full-time career, and what the reality of that is. So just want to lift that up. That'd be perfect for somebody within HR. However, if somebody else on your team who is passionate about that transition or has worked with many other team members through that transition, I'm sure they'd be knowledgeable as well.
So I was thinking too, I have a girl who was a UPL intern and she was converted into a full-time role. So I was thinking, is that okay instead of HR?
I love that. I think
Okay,
that's a great idea if she's actually been
perfect.
through it. Yeah.
Thank you. That's perfect. Not quite done with Friday, because after that, from 3 to 6 p.m., we have an industry and collegiate professional social. This is taking back feedback we received from industry partners from years past, where they said, you know, we're in this great space with a bunch of our former colleagues or even friends within the ag industry. We'd love some space just to bump elbows and network. So this is just an opportunity to informally network with a social, both industry and collegiate professionals. And that takes part prior to the Bridge Builder celebration, which is from 6:30 to 9. And the Bridge Builder celebrations, we're celebrating and honoring alumni for their achievements in our industry. There is a handout that I sent in that original email. The nominations are due September 2nd. So if you have anyone in mind you'd like to nominate, please fill out the form in that spreadsheet, in that handout. The celebration begins with a reception from 6:30 to 7:15, and then the dinner from 7:30 to 9. And that closes out our Friday, if you can believe it. And then we kick it over to Saturday, our final day, on November 12th. It's 7 to 7:45 a.m. We have a partner breakfast. And this is just a private space And I think Victoria, yeah, UPL had a private or partner breakfast at Craft Science, right? I don't know why I'm not thinking of, yeah.
We did. We had two of the girls that came last year run the partner breakfast.
Yes, yes. Thank you. I don't know. That was only a couple weeks ago, it seems like, and my brain just died there. But anyway, so it's very similar to Craft Science, just an intimate space that you can talk a little bit about your company, but also recognizing that the time frame, it's 7 to 7:45 a.m., the last day of conference. So the students will probably be exhausted. So this is a great opportunity to engage them in interactive activities, getting them up and moving, maybe before or after they have, probably after they have breakfast. We encourage, spreading out around the room and making sure that every student gets to talk to a UPL or a partner representative, and yeah, just have a space to learn more about UPL and learn more about students.
Yep, Victoria, the only thing I would add is that about 2 weeks before Leaders Conference, when we send you the final communication, we'll also send you, we like to collect some information from the students of what they want to learn from you during this partner breakfast. We ask them, okay, you're going to have 45 minutes with this company. What do you want to learn about? Their internship opportunities, their mission, new things that they have coming down the road. We really ask them all types of questions. And then we send that to you 2 weeks in advance, so you can help build that agenda based on what they're wanting to talk about, basically, with you during your time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then sorry, go ahead.
Just one last thing. We'll also send you the students' information along with that. So you'll know the type of student who will be at that breakfast, like their university, their major, and then also their email address. We encourage you to reach out to them ahead of time, start the conversation via email, introduce your team, so that you can be as productive as possible in that 45 minutes.
Okay.
If I can just add one thing to that as well, I would also say for our partner breakfast, we know it's really early, both for our industry professionals and our students. And so the more interactive and engaging you can make it, the better. So, perhaps it's standing up and moving around, perhaps it's some trivia or a game, or some sort of learning opportunity that requires them to move about, I think makes it just a little more fun and engaging, and especially at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, my the HR intern is here listening in, so she said, I'll do that. I'll come up with a fun interactive game. So she's on it.
Good. We love to hear that.
And I do have a question about the Bridge Builder celebration. So obviously Jenica won that last year from UPL, which was great. Not unfortunately that Jenna can't come for the first time in 10 years, but she's having her first child. So she will be out on maternity leave. So she'll be unable to come this year for a good reason. So for the nominations, like, do I send that out to like UPL and say, hey, if you think someone should be nominated for this award, here's the information, please let me know. Is that like open? Like, how does that work?
So for the Bridge Builder Celebration Award, it's for alumni of our program. So
Okay.
Victoria, we did a search of other alumni outside of Jenica who work for your company, and we didn't come up with any, unfortunately.
Okay,
But
that's
that
fine.
doesn't mean they don't exist. So if you wanted to share it internally, this might be a great way to collect some data from your team of who is a secret AFA alumni that maybe we're not aware of. And that would be also a great conversation starter as you think about who from your team you want to bring to Kansas City. I'm always an advocate for, if you have alumni on your team, get them back to Leaders Conference. They can relate to the students on a different way than you or I could. So just a couple ideas, and we're happy to brainstorm additional ones with you. But yes, it's an alumni focused award, which I'm so happy Jenica received it last year. But yeah, she can't be with us this year, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything that else anyone would like to add before I stop recording for all of our other partners? Other than a big thank you for being willing and being engaged with us with the Leaders Conference, and we're so excited to have everyone there in Kansas City.